This is Aviary. Today we're gonna look at some that game company news about Aviary and Sky Children of the Light. I've seen it already, but this is a lot of information that is gonna be fairly new to new players. And I figured we could just kind of break it down and kind of like analyze it a little bit. So let's get started.
Hello, Sky Kids. I'm Genova Chen, the CEO and the creative director here at that game company.
So Genova has always been a very present part in that game company. Obviously, he's the CEO and co-creator of Sky, but like he's always been super active as a CEO. There are people like Tio and such that more are the public personalities and stuff, but Genova has never hidden away from any of the content and content creations. So he's always been very present.
I'm Ben Curtin, a gameplay engineer at TGC on Sky.
Today,
so yeah, and again, they have different aspects, obviously, with any big company, and so they do a wonderful job of breaking down what they do. And this is the first time I've seen Kurt in a while, but they're very great about bringing on, and those who are comfortable being recorded for video, bringing them on and letting them talk about their projects that they have been tasked with or been working on.
today we are here to introduce a brand new system to the Sky players called Presence.
We'll also show how we'll be able to relieve some of our biggest pain points our community has.
Okay, let's take a quick look. Server splits without the Wi-Fi symbol. Please do something about the server splitting. Is the game having frequent server splits? My friend and I keep getting split at every gate and valley especially. I am someone who specifically has server split issues in Daylight Prairie. Every passageway I walk through in Daylight Prairie, I end up dropping my friends constantly. I end up leaving them in the last server. And it's every single doorway for me, unfortunately, in Daylight Prairie. And it's always been a problem for me specifically. That area has been a problem for me all the way since I first started back in 2022. So it's nice to see that they understand it's a problem, and they've always tried to work with it.
Has been sharing with us.
Sky is an MMO game.
So what they're showing here right now is the Aurora concert. I'm not sure which one this is for, because there was the original Aurora concert, then there was the Encore, and then Homecoming, and then the Latin community. In Sky always tries to do a monthly mega concert, so they try to do first Saturday of the month at specific times post reset, where they try and get as many people to come in as possible, because it is significantly better when you have a couple of thousand people in it instead of like 5 or 6 people. It's just a very good experience, even though the music is great.
In the server, there are thousands, sometimes tens of thousands.
So based off the look of this is probably something post-Encore. Encore, the entire Coliseum was restructured to kind of hold more people, because the Encore was when they strived to get the world record for the largest attendance for a digital concert, which I think should have been back in 2023, maybe 2024. But that is kind of what a server looks like constantly. We'll only ever see 8 people max in a server. But there's thousands of people at a time in that one area across all servers. And so what they're working on doing is kind of overlapping it like this, so it's easier to see your friends and find your friends.
Of players. However, when you play the game, you don't feel that. You just feel at maximum there are 8 players on the screen. What Presence system does is allow you to sense the vibration of everybody on the server.
And they're using specific terms because they want to kind of like keep that mindset going on for the game. They don't want to like really have you break the illusion.
With a click of a button, you'll see hundreds of players around you.
So this is very interesting. I love it so much. I actually got to experience it in game the other day because I was just messing around with it. But instead of having our little tissue, our little handkerchief people represented from other servers, we're actually kind of fully seeing them.
Chatting, expressing themselves, and having fun alongside.
Now, it's very clearly still very, very early access. They're still working on stuff. Them bouncing around like this very much shows how early this is and what they're working with. But we see full moth kind of experiences, and it's very exciting to see. Just to see that it's like, hey, even though it's still small, it's still 8 people, like, I'm not alone playing this game.
Presence
Hi,
also
guys.
introduces the ability to reconnect when the server splits in Sky. When players split, it means that their friends were auto-merged into a different server. With Presence enabled,
And that's a really big problem. And it's kind of heartbreaking if you're trying to play with somebody and you're brand new and you're just like running around together, if you're a vet or a moth, or just trying to do something together with somebody new, and then you haven't really decided to connect or share a candle and become friends. You're just hanging out with somebody, and then suddenly you're split. You're off kind of showing them something, or you're there to help with a quest or something, and then you're suddenly split. It is very, very heartbreaking to have that split done to
you'll
you.
now be able to quickly find your friend in the same area and merge back together with them so that you can go back to exploring the realms.
It's debatable on how quickly that is. I think that they're striving to work to make it faster and more streamlined. It's been pretty slow for me, but again, I predominantly play on Switch, so it could just be a Switch problem. I have a Switch one. I have an OG Switch, a Gen 1 Switch one, so it could just be my Switch problem. But I haven't seen it to be pretty fast syncing up yet, but I've been playing with this company for years at this point. When they work towards something, they will work towards something, even though it's not at its peak right this minute.
This is one of the biggest feature that is ever coming to Sky. Please.
And I do believe that. I do believe that this is the biggest feature. There have been a lot of things that have caused some problems and things like that. I remember when we had a lot of problems across the entire realms in Sky when Radiance was introduced, because it was introducing dye plants in literally all, like, in 5 of the realms, in Eden, all these places, and it was just causing a lot of problems. But now they're slowly working to roll this out across everything. So if you just kind of like break down a simple place like Isle of Dawn, you have the main area, which includes the butterfly caves, and then the temple. That's all one space. And then you have Season of Passage, and then you have Cave of Prophecy. Well, that's 3 right there. Well, and then you have the 4 trials. That's another, so that's 7 right there. And then it just grows exponentially from there. That they're working on like introducing this in every single aspect of the game is massive. It's so massive.
Bear with us on this experiment.
As one of the main engines.
So Presence will launch exclusive to Aviary Village in the 3.3.0 update. I think I have seen it somewhere else. I don't remember where. I know it's not on home. I think it's at Grandma's. I think it's in the elevated clearing in Hidden Forest at Grandma's. I don't think it's working yet, but the expression and the activation button is still there. But it is active on Aviary Village right now. It is a slow. The cosmetics are not the prettiest, but hey, it's the effort that counts, and I know and have full faith with the company that they're going to make this amazing.
Years of Presence. I can vouch on behalf of the rest of the team developing this that we've been working hard to ensure that using Presence is like walking into a theme park, that it's always full of lively people to join up with.
That would be very, very exciting, because I know that there are times as well, and it's usually right at the start, or right before they launch a new update, like a preseason update. They always launch the update for a season like 3 days before, 4 days before, and there's always like things that are being ironed out very quickly, and it's like you oftentimes run the entire game from Isle of Dawn through Eden by yourself, so you're not merging with anybody, or you're not like going into a new space that has availability for somebody to join. It'll be nice to be able to just not be a solo player at times. And that's coming from someone who is a solo player. I tend to play by myself.
Thank you for your support. And as always, we'll see you in the skies.
I like his earrings. His earrings are really nice. There.
Hello, Sky.
But yeah. And Ben. Got his name wrong earlier. His name's Ben. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm excited that they're getting a lot of new stuff. I can't wait to see how it's going to progress in the future. And I'm very curious as to where they're going to move next. If we're going to go into the social spaces of everywhere, like the social space for Isle of Dawn that leads into the butterfly fields, Hidden Forest that leads into the clearing, Valley of Triumph social space leads down into the ice rink. What is it? Golden Wasteland has its own social space that's its isolated area. And then Vault, which is very interesting because we go up 3 floors before we move on to like a quote-unquote new like server. So it'd be very interesting where we're aiming for next. And I'm fully expecting that when we get to Eye of Eden, we're going to face some problems before they get everything ironed out. But yeah, that's kind of my thought on Presence, and I'm very excited for it. And I hope y'all come join us and see what it's like in game. And I'll catch y'all around. Bye!